everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Nicole and here on We Mama I do lots of motherhood, cleaning, lifestyle and organisational kind of videos. So if you like that kind of thing, I would love it if you could stick around and subscribe. Today's video is going to be my 24-26 week update. I'm now currently 26 weeks. We are still amidst like the COVID-19 lockdown over here, even though some of those rules have been lifted a bit. We're still staying at home and I just feel like this journey has just gone so fast, and being at home 24/7 with my husband and my little boy, I'm just not getting a chance to film it as often as these updates as often as I would like to. So I'm just going to go for 2 weeks at a time and just tell you what I've been up to, how I've been feeling. So according to the app that I follow called Over Your Pregnancy, the baby's face is fully formed now. We have decided that we are not going to be finding out the sex of our baby. We'd like a surprise. We did that with our first baby as well. I've got a little boy called Didier. He is a year and a half old right now, and so there'll be 21 months between them when this little baby is due in September 2020. The app says that this little baby is starting to kick to the outside noises, and that is 100% true. This little one just hasn't stopped kicking. My first boy Didier, he did kick, but not as often as this one. I think he came more alive at around bedtime, and I don't know if it's because I am home all day and I'm not in work that I do just notice it. I'm not as active as I obviously was at work, so that could be something to do with it, but I feel this little one kicking all day, all night. So yeah, we've got 13 weeks to go and baby is the size of a butternut squash. As for me, at the moment I'm starting to go through phases where sometimes I can just get really uncomfortable at night and I'm just not sleeping so well. I also have to take aspirin because Didier was quite a small weight during my last pregnancy and at birth, and I think something to do with my BMI as well. I have to take aspirin at night. I think I just take it at night. I think they recommended that, and I don't know if it's related to the aspirin, but I get really tingly arms. With my first pregnancy with my little boy, I had restless leg syndrome, and this feels exactly the same, but in the tops of my arms. So when I'm lying down on my side, my arm up here gets dead and it's just really uncomfortable, and I'm moving around. My husband gets really frustrated, I get frustrated, so that's fun. I haven't felt any swelling yet. I think I mentioned it in my last update. My fingers start to get swell a little bit, but then next thing I know they're back down again. So 1 minute my ring's loose, the next they're not, moving about. I haven't really noticed anything on my ankles or my legs, so I haven't had any signs of that yet. Another thing that I've noticed during this pregnancy is that I've actually got quite good clear skin. I don't remember my skin being too much of an issue with my first pregnancy, and I don't know if it's the combination of products that I'm using at the moment, but I've just noticed that my skin has just been so clear recently. I haven't quite had any kind of spots in the usual areas. I'm not usually too bad for spots. I think I do get some here where I do use powder bronzer, and also when, obviously it's time of the month, I get a lot of hormonal ones down here. And recently I've just not had them at all. I've been quite lucky to have quite clear skin, which I am 100% here for. I've been getting quite a bit of backache in my lower back. I think I got this quite a lot around, when I hit 30 weeks onwards in my first pregnancy. This time I've started getting it quite early. I don't know if it's from my sleeping patterns or habits, but I'm just starting to get it in my lower back. So that's really not fun, especially when you're walking. I think it just might be the combination of being pregnant and having a 1-year-old. I know I'm not really supposed to be picking him up, but obviously, mothers can't do that. I have also experienced a little bit of cramping every now and then. Nothing serious, just something quite uncomfortable pains just down in my abdomen, and I know that is mostly the round ligament pain, I think. So it's just obviously getting ready to stretch everything out, and I've just noticed as well that my hips can be a little bit funny as well, they can ache a little bit. I remember all of this as well from my first pregnancy, but I think it just happened a lot later. I don't really recall having it in my 20 weeks. It was all straight at the end. It was bam, everything just hit me at once. I am slowly starting to eat a bit more veg. My eating habits during this pregnancy have not been great, but they weren't in my first pregnancy. I'm vegetarian, but I do eat fish, so I'm pescatarian. Because my sickness was just so bad at the beginning, I've just completely gone off vegetables, and I was exactly the same with my first baby. I just tend to like broccoli and peas. That's like the only thing that I'm kind of eating. But now I've just noticed in these last like 2 weeks, I'm just slowly starting to be able to stomach eating carrots and things like that. So it's progress. Another thing physically that I'm struggling to do is get up. If I'm in bed, or if I'm sat down on the sofa and I get comfy, it is now starting to get really, like, it's so much hard work to just pull myself up. If my husband's there, it's great. I'm like, you know, give me your hands, you need to pull me up, because it's starting to be a struggle. I am also not struggling, but I find it hard to walk long distances. Just because of like my hips. Then it's not too uncomfortable. I don't think I really need to go to a doctor about it. If it was really painful, then I think I would. But obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I just don't really think they'd appreciate me calling up when I'm not even that concerned about it myself. I just do like a little walk around our neighbourhood block, and that just seems to do me fine at the moment. And also I can't, because I just wee so much, and as we're in the middle of a pandemic, all the obviously, like, all the public toilets are closed, there is just no way for a wee, and it's a struggle. My headaches have completely gone, and I think as of last week, I think my sickness completely went. I was still getting up in the morning and still kind of feeling a bit icky in the mornings, but nothing like it was before. So I'm really thankful that that's kind of gone now, finally, at 26 weeks. As for cravings, I still want to eat chocolate, but I wouldn't really say it's like a craving like it was in the past few weeks. Like, I was just obsessed with eating bars of chocolate, like the taste, the texture. Now I think with the weather being so hot, I've just kind of gone on to fresh fruit. So all I've wanted to eat is like fresh watermelon and like strawberries. Something else that I've noticed is that I am also really irritable at the moment. My husband, bless him, as we're like home all the time, he's just getting the brunt of it, and I'm not really like that anyway. I think around my like time of the month, I think we can get a little bit fed up of each other, and I can get a bit hormonal towards him. But recently I've just noticed that I have been really, like, whenever he said or done something, I get like really irritated, like this big build up, which I'm just not accustomed to at all. So he's loving this part of the pregnancy, because I don't really remember it happening in my first. And the other thing I noticed as well is that along with being irritable with everything, I just noticed as well that I don't have as much patience as I used to. Didn't notice that in my first pregnancy at all. I work with children, so I think that kind of like balanced it out. I had to be patient with children at work, but of course at home, my little one, bless him, he's good as gold, always has been. But there have been a few things that he's done this past week where obviously he's only 1.5 and he thinks everything's a big game, he's pushing boundaries, and I have lost like patience with him once or twice, which is obviously so natural and understandable, but I'm putting it down to this pregnancy that I don't have as much patience as I usually do. My bump is slowly growing. I just noticed that the bottom half of my bump is quite rounded and the top half is now starting to form. I'm still kind of fitting into my jeans. I mean, they're stretchy jeans anyway. It's not a triumph. I only wear comfy clothes anyway. I am also starting to get quite vivid dreams. I had quite a few scary dreams in my last pregnancy that involved Jurassic Park, because I think I went to see the film in the cinema. They kind of haunted me for a bit. This time round, I don't know if it's because I've not seen a lot of family members recently, but I've had quite a few really real dreams about my family members being there that have seemed so real that I wake up and I'm like, where is everybody? They've been interesting. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I've got an appointment in 2 weeks for my 28-week checkup, and so that's with my midwife. I haven't seen my midwife since January, so it's now June. So that'll be a nice little catch up, and also I've got to have my diabetes, like glucose test, which I'm really confused about because of like the pandemic reasons. Last time I went to the hospital, they took a blood sample and they said to stop people hanging around in the hospitals. That's what they were doing now. They were taking a blood sample and they were using that as the diabetes test. But when I arranged the appointment, the midwife said, no, you still need to go and have your glucose test. So I think by the look of it, I'm still going to be hanging around a hospital for 3 hours. So yeah, that'll be interesting, and that's pretty much it. And then I think I've got another 3 scans, and then baby will be here. So I think that's pretty much it for this update. Sorry, it's been a bit sporadic. My little boy is asleep in the next room, and I'm sure he's going to wake up at any minute. My husband's outside, so I've seized the moment. I will next be doing an update of my 28 weeks to 30 weeks, and I'm just going to continue them like that for the moment. Thank you so much for watching.